Can Palafox actually find a mid lane AD pick that is really going to kind of suit that style, or is it going to have to be an AD Kai'Sa, right? Are you going to be able to bring that AD damage from somewhere else, because we already have Jace as well as Tristana banned out?
All right, Team Liquid get the flex. Rel, though, definitely could be in the hands of Pyosik, but Pyosik himself has been on a bit of a streak with this Viego.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Team Liquid put the Rel into CoreJJ's hands as well. CoreJJ, as you know, legacy Rel player, really, really loves to be on the front lines with that engage too.
And Team Liquid as a whole just looks so much better with him leading the charge, being the one to engage. I like Pyosik much more on a champion like the Viego. We're going to see the Neeko locked in for APA, going to make sure that they can pilot that one again in the mid lane. And again, last game, we saw some really good pop blossoms from him in some of those fights.
Remember too that in the hands, especially of Energy, that Kai'Sa for sure could go mid if you want to keep it the AP version, which I think the AP version is just way, way better. So they do have a bit of flexibility there if they want to balance damage types.
Do they lock this? Okay, well,
got them both.
Static Shiv has some AD on it. How about that, Kobe? Is that good enough for you?
I heard you like Static Shivs.
It does. We may be getting 2 of them in this game at least.
Very likely. So Palafox is going to be grabbing the LeBlanc. Only played it once in playoffs, but I think it was definitely one of his more successful picks throughout the regular season. Allows him to play aggressive, allows him to move around the map with contracts. And if they're going to be going for this LeBlanc, I want them to have an aggressive jungler here for contracts to be able to get involved with this LeBlanc early and often and try to move around the map, try to exert that pressure.
I honestly think contracts might be on Sejuani duty again, though, because they do need that front line, and that CC was so critical in getting them the picks and getting them the setup.
I just feel like Merchand's become such incredible value, and especially if you're going to be playing a tanky top, that can become a little bit problematic.
Yeah, very true.
And, I do really like the aggression that a LeBlanc can enable out of a physical damage jungler. Like, the pairings that we always used to see, of course, like Lee Sin, can really get aggressive, can really move around that map. But you're right, Sejuani obviously still is up and available for now. We'll see if TL are going to be able to target that in the ban phase whatsoever, because they've grabbed their jungler and Contract still needs one.
Yep, we've got the Viego locked in once again for Pyosik, so that tells me, hey, Rel is going exactly where all the TL fans want to see it go, down at a CoreJJ. That'll be the engage mechanism for Team Liquid. Kha'Zix banned out, respecting one of those picks that doesn't show up as frequently as others, but can really tear up the game.
Well, and again, it's a physical damage jungler. That's what they're trying to target, because they're trying to force this Kai'Sa to go AD. They don't want to play against the AP Kai'Sa. They don't want a physical damage pairing alongside that LeBlanc, because that can really be problematic. So they are going to ban out that Kha'Zix. And where else do you think they might go if they want to go second jungle ban?
If you want to look at AD junglers, there's actually a lot that are good right now, especially to me, Nocturne pairs super well with Kai'Sa and LeBlanc. So there definitely are possibilities for that if they wanted to go that route. Really depends who they want to be their frontline player. Is it going to be top lane for Dokla, or is it going to be in the hands of Contracts? Because they do need a bit more health on their squad, plus the AD threat.
Well, they ban out the Kha'Zix, they ban out the Poppy, another jungler that, although it's not as heavy damage focused, it is physical damage over magic. You can see over on the other side, it's Xayah, banned out by Energy, getting rid of that defensive AD carry, while also banning out the Fiora. They know that once again, Team Liquid is going to have 5th pick. If you're banning out Fiora, it tells me you want big dokes on some kind of a tanky frontliner, so they don't want to have to deal with that split push.
This feels like it could just be an Ezreal pick here for Yeon. I do think, that works pretty well when you're playing against Kai'Sa, LeBlanc, as well as, oh my god.
Nope.
He locked it in.
That's the opposite of Ezreal, the Draven for Yeon.
Man, I'm actually shocked. There's so much dive already drafted for NRG, and Draven can really struggle against this dive. So now they're kind of all in on being able to snowball this game.
Hey, they want to win lane. Team Liquid got a 2v2 kill bottom lane in the bottom lane. First game, they want to repeat that. They've got the Draven Rel combo. Aggressive duo there for CoreJJ and Yeon again. Now let's see how Energy round this out. Will it be the top lane tank for Dokla and some AD threat for Contracts here? Looks like at least the K'Sante part is true.
K'Sante locked in. Head on over to the cafeteria and get your pasta ready. You know what K'Sante is going to be pulling off some moves.
And this is only the second Draven game for Yeon in his career. Not only just this split, but in his career in Academy and everything as well. So you're definitely not someone that we really identify as a Draven player, but he did win in that one game he brought it out, and we'll see if he can really have success with it here today. They're looking to stomp some fools.
Oh, the Trundle locked in here. There's your AD jungler for Contracts. He's saying, okay, I can do some basic physical damage, but also the Subjugate, sapping away the ability for your opponents to properly build resistances against double AP threats. And right now, there's only one tanky target on Team Liquid anyway.
You know what really sucks for Draven is also Trundle Pillar, because you are so reliant on the move speed from Blood Rush to actually be able to kite stuff out. If it's like a Pillar max or a couple points in Pillar and you just get that dropped on you at the beginning of a team fight, it's almost impossible to avoid a recon engage without your flash. And I think that's going to put so much pressure on Yeon. It also works really well with Poke. It sets it up for your team.
Meanwhile, Team Liquid with the final lock-in here for Summit. You got a glimpse of Summit kind of 1v9 attempts with the Aatrox around Dragon Pit last time around.
Yeah.
This is another champion that has those capabilities, especially with the easy time early on versus K'Sante, allowing the Gwen to scale up into the Riftmaker, into the multiple items, where Summit could become a real problem.
The Hallowed Mist, one of the only things in the game that can protect you from Kai'Sa's Void Seekers. Of course, not quite as effective against LeBlanc, since she likes to jump in right on top of you for her poke pattern anyway. All right, rock and roll back on Summoner's Rift, game number 2. Energy has an opportunity to take it to match point. Team Liquid having an opportunity to tie the series up. APA back on the Nico, Palafox on the LeBlanc. Both AD carries this time around, taking the cleanse. I pointed out in the previous game how Yeon had the heal. It ended up earning them that 2v2 first blood that you were talking about in Champ Select there, Kobe. But at the end of the game, when Yeon gets caught out by the engage from Sejuani, there's no cleanse. Goodbye, good night.
That's the exhaust tax here on Draven. You gotta be able to cleanse it.
Well, let's see how they're going to square off at level 1. While we're waiting for the action, let's toss things over to Gabby, who's ready with an interview with Team Liquid coach Rainover.
Thanks, Flowers. All right, Rainover, that was a tight game, number 1. What were your takeaways from how this series kicked off?
I think last game we tried to get both of finding out the best comp to make sense with the same comp and a strong laning phase. But I think it was we're trying to grab both of the rabbits, so it wasn't as good. So we're just trying to compete on the one side. Yeah.
Lots of changes here in game number 2. Pressure on Yeon, second Draven game of his career. Why this draft?
Yeon's a fantastic Draven. I'm sure we can smash their ball lane. So yeah.
Confidence in the bot lane from the Team Liquid side. Let's head back into game 2.
All righty, back to live. Let's see what we got. Level 1. I really just want to see when this Draven Rel combo is going to go all in. You know they want to. It's immediate. CoreJJ jumping in, the exhaust cleanse. FBI having a flash right back out as Yeon and CoreJJ want blood, and they want it now.
That was really well done by TL. They get that initial engage, they get that extra summoner out.
One thing about Trundle is that you can level 2 gank on Trundle, but look, there is a ward scouting on bottom side here for Team Liquid, and they see Contracts as he wraps through this Tribe Rush.
Exactly. Level 2 gank on Trundle is nice, but you don't have the pillar. Now let's see what happens topside too, because remember, Doklu's been getting bullied by Summit here. All right, we don't get anything.
Well, we'll see if K'Sante can sustain here up on this top side. Of course, Gwen, I think, also a great option because not only can it dominate in the 1v1, it's something that can really take that strength and succeed in 5v5.
Palafox versus APA. Palafox wanted to jump in there, but as soon as the chain misses, you just want to snap back. Much harder to win the trade there, as Pyosik and Contracts might find one another. Trundle is such a difficult champion to duel in the jungle. The fact that he can sap your stats with the Q and then get so many additional ones of his own there with the Frozen Domain. As there, spots out Pyosik, sees him there with a Scryer's Bloom. APA trying to disengage from Palafox back in mid, but now he has to flash back away. He knows how much trouble he's in. Contracts, flash, chomp, bonk, first blood energy.
Really big stuff there from Contracts. Pops the Scryer's Bloom, walks back in after camping towards mid, but now maybe an answer bottom from Pyosik.
Pyosik coming in there, finds Spectral Maw. Ignar still has flash though, goes back in for the grand entrance. They find Pyosik. Team Liquid does not want to draw turret aggro this early. So the attempted counterplay from TL doesn't get much.
Yeah, and Contracts is now down here, and Pyosik is chunked out, so there is a chance that Energy could actually look for this fight. Maybe get that flash or something off Yeon.
Feels like Team Liquid has to know something's going on with how far Ignar and FBI are moving forward. Contract's going to go ahead, take the opportunity, grab the recall. He's the one who got the first blood, so extra money to spend, wants to have that power back out on the map.
Yeah, and APA punished pretty heavily there for his hubris, was messing around with the LeBlanc, stepping pretty far forward, was down in XP, but got punished.
Grand entrance onto Yeon, but FBI's not able to follow it up with a Void Seeker, so they immediately disengage. They don't want to longer trade against the Draven.
Mid lane could become a very big issue in this series, with Palafox already getting Summoner spell advantage versus APA. He lands another chain here as Contracts walks through lane to come out again, but it just means that LeBlanc can go for the flash chain plays anytime he wants onto APA, and that chain will reveal.
Absolutely, and Palafox is just starting to get really aggressive here, utilizing the fact that APA, every time he distorts forward, he's throwing out that clone as an answer, but the clone is, slightly longer cooldown than the distortion. So he's trying to do it on cooldown, jump forward, force out the clone, and then rinse and repeat as soon as that W is back up to look for the chain without that blocker being there.
Yep, right there. Perfect example of it. Okay, there's the clone. Now, 10 seconds left on that distortion. Of course, he doesn't get to do it right now as soon as I try to make an example out of it, but he's going to take his recall anyway.
That'll teach you.
Exactly what Azael was describing just moments ago. The next time he's back in the lane, he does decide to go ahead, head on back, grab that Kier Chase shard, grab the extra long sword. Back in the jungle, Summit trying to just get a little bit of vision here, track Contracts, make sure that Trundle doesn't get up to any more trouble, find any more successful ganks, and Team Liquid is once again looking for a very, very early first Drake.
Yeah, and they know because Summit just found Contracts in the jungle. This is for sure going to be a free and easy first dragon for Team Liquid. I also do want to point out, as I really like how Summit places 2 wards, he leaves this control ward up behind by his lane as well, just to make sure that this Gwen has a nice time scaling. We've always talked about multiple items here, past the Rift Maker for the Gwen, and then Summit has another chance to really try and take over.
Ignar and FBI grabbing a little bit of chip damage there on Core JJ when they find the opportunity to 2v1 him as Jan was back at the wave. But we're seeing level 6 come online for Palafox, still level 4 for APA.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Palafox was playing past the wave, and that's how APA got caught and killed earlier on, as he was trying to actually jump up there.
Level 6 now. I got bamboozled by Nico. That's my bad.
No problem. But I mean, he did have that XP advantage by playing past the wave, by getting aggressive, and APA had pushed forward to try to get his level 3, and that's how he actually got caught and first blooded. So, Palafox definitely looking aggressive here in this second game and playing inside his comfort zone, absolutely.
Exactly. It's not a level 6 versus level 4 advantage, but it is an XP advantage. It is a farm advantage, and Palafox is the type of player who you already mentioned how aggressive he's willing to play. He'll keep that up. Contracts, finding Core JJ, winning in the brush, throws out the pillar, tried to stop him in the middle of the crash down. He wanted to try to interrupt the animation, but Core JJ held it, expecting that. Still clears the wall and gets away.
Yeah, well played there by both players. Contracts, and not quite finding the timing, but does get a little bit of a chunk on Core. And every little bit of damage you get down there relieves the pressure on the Kai'Sa. You need to make sure that your Kai'Sa is farming. Kai'Sa doesn't have to dominate this lane. You just have to be able to survive. You have to be relevant against that Draven. And it's really going to be about if Energy can shut this Draven down, get a kill eventually, deny those stacks, or if TL can get really stacked up on the Draven and get that big cash in to snowball him.
Exactly. It's so much more important than on any other AD carry to make sure that you get the value of that passive. It's a huge gold influx that can really put him so far ahead of the competition and set you up for like every mid-game objective fight.
Yep.
And you can see the stacks, by the way. Nice new little addition over here on the screen. 161 right now for Jan stacking up. So that execution range also always keep in mind for the big ultimates across map.
Exactly. Bonus damage does go towards your R, your execute there. It also is 2.5 gold per stack plus the 40 base. And if you die, you lose 75% of the stacks in one fell swoop, which is really, really rough. And that's why Draven is such a fun champion to watch, because there's so much attention on him from both sides.
Meanwhile, I really think there's going to be a lot around this mid lane here. Rift Herald is spawning. Pyosik heads on over with double control wards. But there's already a pre-existing energy ward inside the pit, so they should have time to answer this.
Yeah, Contracts is coming up here. APA and Palafox may also both try to interfere. Contracts will wipe out the control ward in the Pixel Brush. Pyosik tries to drag the Herald up closer to top lane, but he's got to be careful about that one because Summit is further away. Pyosik decides discretion is the better part of valor. He'll walk away from the Herald for now, but Team Liquid is not willing to concede it just yet.
Look at the bottom lane, though. They're calling up their full bottom lane here. Draven and Rel coming up through the river. Jan now kind of half rotating right back and goes for the recall instead. They don't want to force.
All right, everybody's going to play it cool.
And you can see Ignar, he's actually sitting mid because he's trying to leech XP for 6. He's relatively close to 6, so around this timing, if you sit XP, and leech that XP, he's actually 1 or 2 minions off, unfortunately, didn't quite get it, but they really wanted to get him 6, weren't able to.
All right, everybody's coming in. They want to contest for this Herald on Energy's side, but Team Liquid's already got it low. Contract's going to lead the way, but he's going to be careful. APA, 3-man pop-offs him. Contracts is already down, and Doklu's going to drop 2. Team Liquid goes in and goes hard. They're going to take the fight and take the objective.
Another huge engage from APA. Coming up through the Team Liquid Academy system, being promoted to the main team on a team that doesn't even speak the same language as him, and he constantly comes up with these big Nico engages for them.
They speak the same language. It's League of Legends, baby. He's going in with those engages, and the team knows to follow up, utilizing the clone, utilizing that shapeshift. Yes, it does reveal faster than it did in the past. That has been nerfed, but there still is that initial delay when he starts casting it, so it is very hard to react because every time that Nico steps forward, he could be looking for this massive engage.
And it's all about focus fire in these early fights. Contract steps up, Summit hits him with the first Q, and then once they've got that little chunk of damage, APA says, I'm going right for it. Focus fire, burn the enemy jungler down, and you've instantly won the fight.
I love the little blink of emotion there too, as he knows, yeah, he popped off. I love seeing that, especially in these stadium games. APA responsible for that immediate response from Team Liquid to Energy being the one so far ahead a little bit, and now we'll see what else they might be able to get. It's 10 seconds until the second Drake of the game spawns. Just like game number 1, Gas Dragon was first. The bad one is gone. Now there's only good souls left to pick, and that means Team Liquid is once again going to rally around the objective. APA in trouble, going to be caught out there by the pillar, but he still gets himself away for now, getting focused down. APA dies, and it's FBI, the one getting it done.
Summit's
FBI
here.
crashing back over the wall, Summit coming in, snip, snip. Team Liquid may have lost their mid laner, but they're going to trade him back for 2. Palafox has to escape Summit, and the needlework as TL earns their control over the bot side river and earns a Drake.
Energy must simply not be keeping track of the cooldowns here because Dokla used his teleport. He's top side of the map, and Energy are the ones who flash for that play. Contracts was pissed. APA flashed on him, so he flashes over the wall back. But they've got the extra person. Summit teleports in. He's got the team's back in. We've been setting up the story of the Gwen possible 1v9, possible big problem carry. Well, guess what? That story is coming to fruition a little bit quicker now. 2 kills here
Absolutely.
for Summit. And let's take another look at it because Energy, they're trying to make their pick. Contracts will sort of flash back on APA for a little bit of revenge. And Palafox comes in, but buys a lot of time there.
Yeah, he bought a lot of time. Yon arrived, Joshik's already there, Core's there. The whole team just kind of piled in a lot more quickly. Maybe the comms was that Dokla thought he could interrupt the TP or something, and then someone was out of vision. They couldn't actually find him. I'm not sure what prompted that, or if they were just getting a little bit too hypey. Contract saw play and wanted to go for it, but either way, they're punished hard. And it's not just the 2-kill lead that is so problematic. It's a 30 CS on top of those 2 kills for Summit that is putting him up 1K over Dokla this early on. He's basically the whole team's lead, and Yon got to cash in on the Draven, which is going to give that big injection of gold for him as well.
Yeah, and you saw FBI specifically flash after Whirling Death reached the maximum to avoid the pullback to make sure he didn't give a kill over to Yon. But then the problem is, hey, snip, snip, Summit's right there waiting. So you might have denied the Draven cash-in, but you still end up dropping down. Now the Herald Summit up mid lane, it's Team Liquid with +2 Drakes and plus 1.7K at 12.5 minutes.
And Yon got a very early collector here, which is going to help with those executes, help with those last hits, trying to snowball this game very heavily, has the Sheen on top, so likely going towards an Essence Reaper build, trying to play, for that just max build rush. You can spam the W every single time you catch an axe and really try to chase down and kite out in these team fights.
I know that Collector is looked down on a lot, but it did get a buff in a couple recent patches. It was a lot of really early power here with the lethality, with the execute, with the Sheen procs here. And this Team Liquid team wants to snowball, so really trying to play into that. They've got the Trinity Force power spike now done on Pyosik as well. Last time around, as soon as he got his Trinity Force, he immediately went for an all-in with the team, pairing with APA.
And I actually am more of a fan of lethality when you have multiple AP threats, right? Because they can't just stack armor because there's already a Fed Gwen. The Nico is going to be a problem as well. That is going to make something, that much more effective. There's no armor at all that has been purchased up on the enemy team.
Yon has the opportunity to really take this Draven straight to the throat of Energy, but the rest of the team's going to need to make sure they're protecting him. Like we talked about earlier, as we get into the larger fights, there's going to be more threats on this Draven. The problematic Trundle Pillar, the fact that it sets up Ignar perfectly. Ignar currently has everything available too, so does Core JJ. Both these guys are so critical to the way these two like to play their game. A big engage in one of these upcoming fights could set the pace for the next 10 minutes. 14 minutes, the turret plates fall. So we'll probably start to see some of these dropping soon. Honestly, no turrets completely taken before the plates went down. Not even huge amounts of damage onto anything just yet, but it's Energy allowing FBI to get a couple of hits on this bottom lane tier 1. APA and Pyosik coming to answer that. FBI's not going to nearly get this whole turret gone.
And it's going to be Cloud Soul on the table. Potential engage here.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about. They try to find their engage, but Palafox has to walk away. Contract's going to be caught as Summit TP's in. Summit's thrown back up into the air, exhausted. Not able to find what he needs just yet, but he still keeps going forward. Contract's thrown up into the air. Team Liquid grabs one. Contracts falls. They still want to get some more as Dokla has to run away. Team Liquid's in the enemy jungle, and they are not stopping. Palafox has to go over the wall with a flash to escape Pyosik.
This is a massive lead, and it's going to get even bigger for Team Liquid. They've got full control of the map. Over 2,500 gold lead, and they got the dragon here. They can shove in mid, get this tower as well as we go into the replay.
And we can just see it one more time. Core and Yon lying in wait in that side brush. They're able to find the engage here. They go forward. Palafox was distorting in to actually check the brush, but he gets caught as he goes in. He's chunked out of the fight almost immediately. And then the TP in from Summit. Look at how much emphasis is put on him. They have no damage on the guy because he's in the shroud. Palafox can't hit him. FBI was over on the right side of the fight. They used the exhaust. They used the CC. They did nothing to him.
Well, we're back to live, and Energy are back to the Rift Herald pit. They want to try to take this. They know they can't just keep yielding objectives to a surging Team Liquid as Summit trying to take the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane against Dokla at the same time. Pyosik, APA, and Core JJ trying to come up and contest this one. Yon's now joined the fight with 2 spinning axes. Contracts trying to stick on top of the Herald. Eyeball's going to get procced again. Ignar with a grand entrance right back over the wall. Team Liquid will not secure the Herald. Palafox double distorts in to guarantee that he picks up the eye. Energy are going to take the objective.
Yeah, and Team Liquid now can run down towards Dragon. This is a pretty early rotation for them. Yon gonna push out the mid lane. Summit's already there. They have really deep wards through the jungle leading up to it. It's only 16 minutes into the game, and Dragon number 3 would mean a very early Dragon Soul possibility.
Yeah, that is pretty terrifying, especially when there's a Fed Gwen on the other side. Cloud Soul is really scary. It's so difficult to kite away from the champion already. Yon also with the Earthbound Axe, so he's going Triforce actually. It's not going to be the Essence Reaver that I have seen a lot of. Going to be a really big 2-item spike there alongside Pyosik, who already has that Triforce, so we'll see what TL can get done. They're feeling confident in their position in this game, and they absolutely should feel confident to continue pushing the pace.
Dragon going their way, Soul Point, 16.5 minutes. This is that situation I was talking about in game number 1. This is what you buy when you focus a very early first Drake and maintain control over the early game. Now just, what, 21.5 minutes into the game, the final Drake for them will spawn if they can get it? That's huge.
Both Gwen and Nico are also very, very scary when they've got a Cloud Soul to operate with. So Energy trying to get some money back for themselves, though. They're trying to get enough gold so that they can actually fight the Dragon Soul in the coming 4 minutes. They get the top side tower. They do have the Rift Herald still in the hands of Palafox, so they can rotate Palafox down to the bottom side, use that Rift Herald on their LeBlanc split push to be able to get another, hopefully, outer tower's worth of gold, and then try and get into an area where they actually can fight it.
I mean, it's somewhat reminiscent of last game where, you know, TL had that early lead, Energy go to the side lanes, try to collect gold, but the problem is it's so accelerated this time around that Energy's carries are so far away from 3 items. You know, we were talking about 3 items coming in before they would have to actually fight for a Soul Point. This time, they're not even going to be at 2, and Summit's just looking to get aggressive.
Yeah, Palafox did a great job sidestepping the needlework there to avoid any of the slows. He'll escape from that. Team Liquid, though, they're not afraid to just throw these spells out and try to find something. They know how far ahead they are.
Yeah, they threw it out and didn't find anything, but that's okay.
They don't care. They're chilling. They're like, what are you going to do?
Someone's like, look at my bank account. He is quite rich. Approaching 2 items on Gwen already is very scary.
Absolutely. And the Gwen ultimate's only around a minute cooldown. The Dragon's not going to be up for 3 minutes, you know, so I would have a problem with it. It was right before an objective, but it's a swing and a miss. May as well look for those attempts, though, because if he can actually find it, if he can force something out of Palafox, always going to be nice. Dokla a little bit split pushing down on the bottom side, though, as he's trying to stay relevant in this game, because he is so far behind Summit. You know, Summit is going to have his second item here very, very shortly, and Dokla is miles away from his. So yes, Kazanji does not need as much gold, but you still do need to stay at least somewhat relevant in these team fights.
Oh, Contracts gets the Scuttle Crab, but Team Liquid immediately wanted to pounce on him. He has to use his flash to escape their collapse. That could be a pretty important summoner spell here with the Drake spawning before the flash is going to be up again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so critical how early Team Liquid got all these dragons, because normally Energy would be like, you know what, we're going to farm for a while. We'll see you once we get some more items on our Kai'Sa. We get to start poking you. But the issue is really forced by Team Liquid having such early dragons for themselves, and they know it. They're going to go back for another reset here, come back with some control wards to set up. And Energy fishing around for some possible picks themselves. Contracts, or Palafox at least does have the 2 item power spike on LeBlanc with his Night Harvester on top of the Shiv, so
Special bonus offer.
And FBI has 2K in pocket, so okay, yeah, there he goes. He just based now, finally. So they were waiting for that. So they do both have 2 items. I do think that they're still a lot weaker than what TL has right now, but we'll see if they can actually make it work.
Rift Herald summon up in mid. Team Liquid might just kill it before it can even get a charge. That's a very sad Herald and a very happy TL. That would have had enough damage to knock down the tier 1 and practically equalize the gold. Energy
like
sad to lose that one.
You see that happen way more when it's people who don't commonly pick up the Herald, right? You know, if it's a jungler who has that Herald, he probably just drops it in charge range, so it has that immediate charge, and that doesn't happen. But Palafox drops it down a little bit too far, unfortunately for him. And he's going to go out towards that top lane, though, and try to get the waves moving in the right direction.
Those mid laners, they're just too loose with Shelly's life. She's important.
They don't respect the Shelly, and unfortunately, it means the tier 1 still stands for TL. They're still up a little bit over 1,000 gold. 1 minute and change until we see the Soul Point Drake for TL spawn. Energy knows how much they need to defend it. You can see they're already moving into the bot side river, 60 seconds ahead of the spawn to try to protect it, try to make sure they can get this. But Baron is live. We're 20 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. And remember that last game, TL were the ones rushing after the Baron before 21 minutes hit the clock.
Yeah, Team Liquid have already imprinted on Energy the threat of those Baron rushes. Pyosik, so much damage with the Viego. They're going to get chased out of the pit right now, and they barely get to the other side of the pillar, so they are fine, but a little bit of poke starting to add up onto Core JJ. There's no Ludens yet, so it's not the real annoying Kai'Sa poke, but a couple of those in a row really will leave a mark.
Dokla going after Summit here, goes all out to take him over the wall. FBI flies in with a killer instinct. Ignar, flash, quickness, grand entrance. Whoa! Through with a kitchen sink at this man, and he falls.
They do get him. That is a big commitment, though. Now they got to try to rush down this dragon and then make sure they can actually get up towards the top side to defend a possible counter Baron.
Yeah, they just need to have enough members to force Team Liquid away from burning down a Baron. So they can leave 2 members on Dragon. Contracts can even solo it, no problem, if they decide that they need to get Dokla up here quicker. He's got a teleport, though, so they're looking at an unleashed teleport if Team Liquid got a little bit too risky.
I also do like that FBI, you know, went back to base. He's going up towards that top side, because if they're going to look for Baron,
They want the teleport cooldown.
But they see they're on it now. They have got to get over there. They've got to respond to this. This could be too little too late. I mean, Contracts is trying to run up, but he's going to be too slow, I think.
Yeah, the Unleashed TP's coming in with the Baron already at 4,000 HP. Summit's ready to TP in now too. Palafox with chains down to the APA, looking to find the burst. The Baron's going to be played by Pyosik. Team Liquid trying to fight back now with Summit into the back line. Contracts kill off APA. Snip, snip goes FBI. Team Liquid ready to win the fight immediately after taking the objective. Pyosik going in with a Spectral Maul. Dokla tries to escape. The smite for the slow. The sword in the back. Summit is on the attack. And Team Liquid will break Energy.
Energy grab the dragon, but TL take it all. They grab the Baron. They win the fight. They were too slow to respond. Contracts was even trying to go over the pit. He was expecting that they were going to win the fight, that they would be retreating over the wall. But with Summit TPing in, they just wipe Energy off the map and are now in such a position of power. Palafox lying in wait here, but with Pyosik behind him, you got nothing going on. It's going to be a 5K lead, if not more.
I feel like this game is a tale of disrespecting Gwen's teleports. Summit has had such a presence in this game too. 4-1-3 here on the Gwen. We talk about top lane islands. This man is on a world tour. 7 out of 8 kill participation. Absolutely crushing fights.
All right, another early Baron for Team Liquid, and Energy knew this was possible counterplay from Team Liquid with them going for the dragon, but here they go. Contracts does not have flash, by the way, and he's wrapping around that backside while the rest of the team just gets chopped up. Summit is having a field day down here. There is 0 threat on him, running around, ripping them apart. Pyosik able to chase down Dokla as well. There is so much of a gold swing here with Baron plus all of the extra kills going over to Team Liquid.
Energy just disrespected how fast they can actually take these Barons. Teal is not afraid of it whatsoever. They have so much DPS here and are just committing to these Barons, taking it in the face of Energy and able to win the team fight afterwards. And now Summit here closing in on 3 items. Jan is going to be as well. He has a Hexdrinker in his back pocket working towards a Bloodthirster. These 2 carries are going to be unstoppable here for Team Liquid.
Energy threw 4 people, multiple flashes, and a bunch of ults at Summit previously, and they're going to do it again.
They want Summit, and the Hallowed Mist will not save them. Shut down over to FBI as Energy at least gets that one. But now they got to be careful about their base. Palafox, meanwhile, split pushing in the enemy base. It might just be a 4v4 in the bottom lane, but Team Liquid's going to back off. They don't want that. They need to stop Palafox. He'll get the objective bounty at least to the tier 3 turret.
Yeah, Energy wants to stop the bases, but they're not really going to be able to do it. They spot them looking for the base, but this one should be able to recall. No, he's actually stopped again there. They saw that Kai'Sa shoot the W out, and they got a little bit nervous about it, so it's bought so much time. They will take the tower, and Palafox can actually finish this potentially in the face of CoreJJ, but it would be risky.
Yeah, the risk is what he's afraid of. We know that there wasn't any damage there to kill him yet because we have perfect spectator vision, but Palafox did not want to risk giving away a long death timer here on the back end of what is overall still a very negative sequence for Energy.
Woohoo! All right, so they don't finish off that top inhibitor for Energy. They're not going to have that counter pressure for the top side of the map for when the dragon does spawn. Just over a minute and a half here, Team Liquid are going to have another chance at a Dragon Soul. As long as they don't have anyone get picked off earlier, they should have a very, very good shot at winning that team fight, grabbing the soul, and rolling this one for it. There are objective bounties up, though. We saw one claimed already by Energy. If they can manage to get an opening here, it could be a really big comeback.
It's also been a long time since Jan got his last cash in. He only has that 1 kill, and now he's over 400 stacks. Again, 2.5 gold per stack, plus the 40 base. That would be a massive injection for this guy, and pretty much just instantly complete his Bloodthirster.
And he's going to have to watch his positioning because now we're at that 3-item Kai'Sa power spike. The legendary, the fabled, the very, very painful poke that starts to come through. So we'll see about those Kai'Sa W's if that is one possible area that Energy can try and rely on, because Team Liquid, they are coming for the base, full steam ahead. The tower doesn't stand a chance. The super minions on bottom side have been dealt with for now by Palafox, but he's going to come back to base right now so they can look for an opportunity.
Voidseeker again. Summit has unleashed TP to join up with the rest of TL if he needs to, but he's just going to walk back away now. Energy have successfully defended 20 seconds until Drake. Baron is not up for another 90. Very important that those are not mismatched, because otherwise, again, Team Liquid could just say, okay, fine, take the Drake, we're going to take Baron. It doesn't give you a whole lot to pick just one Drake up. Summit's going to teleport back down into the bot side river now. Level 16 Gwen. Hallowed Mist to make sure the chains from Palafox don't do nothing to him. Palafox wants to go forward and see if he can get anything. Static Shift Night Harvester for a little bit of poke. Over the wall again. Just really putting some hurt on CoreJJ. Core down below half. Dokla keeping APA occupied back in the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is exactly how Energy has to play this out. They have to play it so poke them down before the fight begins.
Energy still looking to make sure that Team Liquid can't just start it up and burn it down. Scryer's Bloom fired off by TL, trying to keep eyes on these guys as Palafox steps forward. He's rooted up by the Nico, and he has to try to get away. Summit leading the charge with a Hallowed Mist, keeps him protected. Palafox only has 100 HP, and Energy has to surrender the Drake. The soul goes to Team Liquid.
Contract's trying to keep him around with a pillar here, but
there's no way.
Energy aren't even that low. Not enough poke damage dealt, and the base has super minions in it. They have to go defend those Nexus turrets. Energy forced off.
There's just no way to continue that fight, not with Palafox that low. He just can't jump in at all. A single auto attack fells him. Team Liquid earning their Drake Soul here. Now they've got that, plus a 3,500 gold lead. Baron spawns in 10 seconds.
And it's so difficult to problem solve from the Energy side. How are they going to deal with these carries? How are they going to kill them off? They're so magic damage heavy, but Jan has a Ma. He almost has a BT. You have Summit here on some pretty tanky items with that Demonic Embrace through. The stopwatch is now finished for APA. There's all of these issues that they've got to deal with here, and Energy are going to need a perfect fight with so much poke prior if they want to stand a chance.
But APA is on the side. APA on the flank. That Pop Blossom can end the whole game. Palafox jumping in over the wall, wants to double distort for a little bit of poke. APA still not entering into the fight just yet. FBI could be the target if he does. The 4-man squad of Team Liquid exiting back towards the mid lane. Pyosik is down to 1/4 HP. He'll heal up off of some chickens. The baby chicken blocks the Void Seeker, and he's really happy for that. APA still on this left side flank. He's going to run into FBI right there. Pop Blossom coming out. He's found the enemy AD carry, but he won't be able to kill him just yet. APA goes into the stasis. Now he's going to be killed off first. Palafox getting the damage, but it's immediately going to be turned around by Team Liquid. Yon gets a double kill into Ignar and contracts both, and TL win the fight anyway. Pyosik does not want to stop just yet. Dokla's the target. FBI can't provide the follow-up damage enough. Palafox looking for a little bit more burst as CoreJJ re-engages. A stasis from him will bait in Palafox, but FBI still gets the kill. It's a 2 for 2, but Team Liquid has better health.
Ooh, Team Liquid should have just retreated to the Baron. They tried for too much, and they lose a member to Void Seekers. CoreJJ got sniped there to get finished off. Energy, maybe they still even retreat over towards the Baron. No, it's too dangerous now.
Yeah, Yon wants the base. He got 2,400 gold from that fight with the cash in, with multiple kills. He wants to go back to base. He's going to spend up that gold. We can see it one more time. APA gets spotted, but he's so strong at this point that he almost one-shots FBI. That was through his ultimate, by the way.
And FBI would have died, but the Draven ultimate stopped on K'Sante. It hit K'Sante first, so then doesn't fully finish, and it stopped right in front of FBI's eyes. He's able to flash out afterwards and then throw in the W's.
Well, we can go back to live because they're onto the Baron here and they're looking to rush this down.
Yeah, Team Liquid immediately ready to start this up. APA has Pop Blossom and Flash ready to go. Palafox wants some poke over the wall. TP coming in now from Dokla, ready to join up with the rest of his team. Baron down to 5K. Team Liquid with control over the Baron pit. Now they're going in for someone who has to pop the stasis. Pyosik and Contract's gonna get into a smite fight, but it ain't low enough here just yet. FBI goes on a killing spree and Yon's on a rampage, taking out the enemy jungler. There's only one jungle left alive, and Pyosik takes the Baron. Dokla's into the pit. Palafox jumps over, but APA ain't gonna die just yet. Ignar and Dokla still to the front line for FBI and Palafox. APA throws out the clone, but it ain't gonna do nothing. Pyosik goes over the wall. Palafox with a flash follow. Yon ain't able to DPS enough. Pyosik and APA still trying to get away. Dokla goes in. There's the Atofo strikes. They're gonna start to clean these guys up. Yon has been found, but it ain't enough just yet. Dokla falls, and John's ready to fight back. FBI jumps in. The Acathian rain brings the pain. A shutdown, and energy kill everybody not named APA.
Big Dokes finds the turnaround onto Yon. They pile in, they take out the Draven. The raid boss is down. Yon made him work for it, though, almost able to fight back and take him out. And Energy get the kills and stay alive in this game.
What's critical is their first kill here onto Summit. They know Summit's W is down because Palafox just got it out of him. Ignar, FBI, Palafox, they all jump onto Summit. Really good timing there from FBI on the Void Seeker out of the Zhonya's. Once they have him down, and Pyosik is so low, they know that even though they've given them the Baron, all the energy you have to do now is keep them around and poke them down.
Exactly.
They've got the LeBlanc, they have the Kai'Sa, just keep throwing Void Seekers, keep throwing poke damage here, and Team Liquid will not be able to escape, and they get the shutdown!
Right back to live, and APA is dead. Energy is seriously turning this around right now. This is a nightmare for Team Liquid. They have lost their mid laner for the 5th time this game.
They're gonna keep going.
Pyosik trying to back away. He wants to clear the distance. The chains are applied. The damage over the wall. The Void Seeker is domination for FBI.
They can try to end. They're going to push more. They're looking for Yon.
Ignar wants it, but the quickness ain't gonna find the Draven just yet. Contract still frontlining. Energy backing away. They don't want to overcommit on this. They have turned this game around in a massive, massive fashion.
That poke is so painful.
Another Void Seeker.
The chains as well as the Trundle Pillar, making it easier for FBI to land these. With that death cap being done, my goodness, the Void Seekers are coming for you.
Exactly, and it's double death cap complete here for Energy, Palafox, and FBI. They know the pressure is on them to get the poke done. They are the damage for the team. They are the hope for this team. They have to play these fights aggressively. They can't just sit back and do nothing. Palafox needs to be distorting in constantly, looking for those plays. And this game could all come down to this Elder that's spawning in 30 seconds.
And that's why FBI bought Stopwatch. You can follow up the Void Seeker, jump in like crazy, and not immediately die for it. Palafox gonna find APA back over in the mid lane, but he disengages in time, so just clearing the wave now for the Energy mid.
Summit is still a pretty big question mark here, and he was split pushing up on top side there for Team Liquid. He has his teleport ready. He's level 18. He's highest level in the game. He has peaked. He is maxed out on levels. He's teleporting in.
It's going to come down to this fight. This will probably decide the whole game right now. Summit popping the Hallowed Mist. Charging in. Palafox finds a little poke onto him. Knocks him down to half HP. APA wants that left side flank, but he ain't going to find it. Void Seeker flies out. Core JJ at half now, too. Team Liquid's got to be careful. They've already been chunked.
Summit's got no TP. He has nothing to actually lifesteal off of, so this is going to be a problem.
Team Liquid onto the Elder. They're already starting to burn it down a little bit, but the teleport's coming in. Palafox wanted to poke at him. Void Seeker flies out, but it ain't going to find the targets. The cooldown is longer. APA trying to scare him away. Summit's going to be charmed up here with the very front of the fight. I shut down on Palafox. Team Liquid has slammed this fight and crushed Energy with an immediate burst. A beautiful engage. Dopla will not 1v4. Energy will not come back, and Team Liquid will not surrender.
Team Liquid showing that composure on stage here in Newark. They're going to even up the series. They get the fight, they get the Elder, and they're coming for the base.
A massive pick on Palafox as he distorted forward. They burst him down, and they take this second game.
They nearly had a problem there at the end, but Team Liquid going in for the engage in the final fight in the Bonsai River will win the Elder, win the game, and tie the series.
What more could you ask for to kick off finals weekend here in Jersey? What a fun first couple games. These two teams, just absolute slugfest, back and forth, action-packed, playing different styles, different comps. It's been so much fun to watch.
So fun here.